Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Midnight Phantom channel. I'm your host, Alex Lancer, known by some as the Isekai Phantom, and this is a debut stream, or I should say a re-debut stream. You guys are probably wanting to know who exactly I am and why I do what I do. But I'm going to show you guys through what I like to call a PowerPoint presentation. Yeah, I know I could have done something more better for it, like maybe like an animation or something. But I didn't really have the time or the budget to do so, so this is what we got for now. So let's just jump right into it. Alright, so now that we're here and all, let's get right into the business of things. Now, I've already done a debut stream like this before. It was sometime right before the New Year's rolled around, but not a lot of people showed up. In fact, nobody even showed up to the stream at all. But hopefully with this stream, I can upload it onto my Twitch channel here, and I'll also re-upload it to YouTube as well, so people can come check it out. So anyways, here I am. This is the Isekai Phantom. At least, for the most part, I'm part of the Isekai Phantom. Alex Lancer is the name. The one that's talking to you guys right now. And there are two others that are kind of like me, but have different personalities. Let me show you. Oh, hang on. Yeah, there we go. So, some facts about me. Well, of course, I already told you my name. The other two that I mentioned in some of my videos, Issei Kubo, which I actually have a video that I like to show you guys that I've created myself because those two couldn't bother to show up today. But they took the opportunity to do some voice recording for me. And I added a video to show off their voices to let you guys know who exactly they are. And that should be in the next slide coming up. I think this is the video here. This is Issei's intro.
Why, hello there, dear viewers. And welcome to the Isekai Phantom's Midnight Channel. My name is Issei Kubo, a former scientist turned magician and entertainer for the masses. I hope you'll enjoy what it is to offer, as much as I'll enjoy seeing all your smiling faces. If there are any. I only jest. Hope to see you all very soon. Goodbye for now.
Well, there you have it. That's Issei Kubo for you. I like how when he said masses, it almost sounded like the other word. I'm not going to say it out loud, though, but if you know, you know. But yeah, if you could hear from the dialogue he was saying, he is definitely what you call a former scientist turned entertainer for the masses and a magician at that. Now, if I can just go back to the previous slide. There. But anyways, yeah. What's also wasn't mentioned in the video was that he is also known by his nickname, the Midnight Phantom. He used that name as a means of performing on the stages, whether it's like for a circus or a magician's act back in his old world. Oh yeah, I'll mention that too. The world that they came from. Well, I won't say that right away because there's a lore video that's coming up soon that'll show you guys what is meant for that other world. But anyways, yeah. The other guy, William T. Lancer, former last name being Kingsley, because he used to be he was raised by a rich family. He got taken in because he had because his parents, well, actually, I'll probably let the lore video speak for itself, but yeah. And I also have another video to show you guys of William. If I can only just find it. Nope, that's the other one. There we go. And this is William's introduction.
I am William T. Lancer, a former butler turned former assassin, and now currently a business contractor for bringing in new talent to our cause. It's a pleasure to make your acquaintance. Allow me to congratulate you on following and subscribing to this channel and many more like it.
Which you should obviously do right now as you're watching this video, of course. Follow and subscribe to many of my channels, this Twitch channel included, as well as YouTube, Twitter, and I'll name a few others. Well, I do have others, like Discord. Well, you can just follow me on there. I also have a Patreon, but that's still in the works. What else? No, I think that's it. Just to get you guys notified about our latest updates, like our new streams coming up, and even new videos I post onto YouTube as well. Anyways, continuing.
If you haven't done so already, I suggest you do so right now, or else I may pop out of your screen and make you do so by force.
Oh, come on, don't do this.
By any means necessary.
Okay. He tends to go a little over the top sometimes, but he is a good businessman, I can say that much for certain. So anyways, let's just move on to the actual meet and greet of all things. So, yeah. Let me just go ahead and just change to the next slide here, and then we can talk about other things.
Hey, I wasn't done yet.
Oh, God. Okay. I did not expect that to be a thing. Alright. Yeah. He can be a bit cuckoo sometimes. But anyways, yeah, former butler turned former assassin and is now a business contractor. What he means by bringing in talent, he means he wants like talented individuals such as animators, and hopefully in the near future we can bring in new talent such as VTubers to a potentially new VTuber agency that I might come up that I might make in the near future. It's just something to make money off of, you know? That and the VTubers themselves can also make good money off of it too. That being the case though, I would also like to imply that I'll always treat my employees with the utmost of respect. But also at the same time, they also gotta do their best when it comes to their professions. Otherwise, why even bother working at all, right? Anyways, William T. Lancer, former assassin. Yeah, the name that he went by as a former assassin was the death penalty, because he brings upon, you know, the D word onto anyone that he deems unworthy of his attention. So that was back in the old world he was at, but now here he's basically turned a new leaf. Somewhat. Me and Issei have to keep a close eye on him at times because you never know what he's going to do. And yeah, this is all the information down below here. Our birthdays, our current ages. That being said, though, I think in their old world, they were a bit younger back then. But here in this world, their ages were different, and their voices were different too. So I had to make up a program of sorts to make their voices change to what they were shown in the video. Because, well, that's how their voices were in the real world, not the real world, the other world. I will say the name though. I think it's called Terra something. I don't remember it too well. But anyways, yeah. And yeah, we're both 6 feet tall. At least both the avatar and our IRL heights are like that too. Oh, let them girls line up. There we go. My likes and dislikes. So, you're probably wondering what kind of food or what kind of hobbies that I do. Well, here they are. My likes, well, technically for myself, I like video games, I like watching anime, and I like to eat food such as pizza, hamburgers, sandwiches, etc. Any food that tastes good, really. I'm not much of a picky eater. Although, my other two associates might beg to differ. Though then again, both characters are actually parts of my mind. That is to say, let's just say at the beginning when we first met, they ended up coming into my body like through soul projection, let's just say. Not the type of innuendo that you thought I was gonna say. I don't know why I talk like this. I should not. This is why I don't speak often. Because I sometimes don't always find the right words to say. But I digress. My dislikes. I just really hate people who just hate on, lie to, or use others for their own gain. And also if they're annoying. That's kind of like my pet peeve, but you know, I can handle it at times. But if it just gets too out of hand, you know, those people gotta go. Like I have it in my rule set for the Twitch channel, no harassment and bullying. And also, don't be arguing about stuff unless it's something very important. And it should not have something to do with real life situations, because channels like this are meant to be a place of wholesomeness and comfort. Away from real life troubles, you know? So, yeah. Also, I did say I'm not much of a picky eater, but I also just don't like how there's like foods that are like too salty or sour. I meant to put in sour in there, but yeah. And also foods that fill you up so quickly. I remember the one time that I was in Toronto at the Niagara Falls area. They had a funnel cake there, and I had tried it, and I couldn't finish it all. But that was like years ago. I think maybe I have a bigger appetite now, but who knows? I might not even be able to finish it up even now, even. And also, my other dislike is being woken up from sleep. I always like to have perfect sleep. It's just natural for us human beings to have good sleep and not to be woken up forcefully by an alarm or just having a person wake you up. The only exception, however, is if it's someone you know and if they are worth your attention. In my opinion, it should be like maybe like I'll let you guys' imaginations roll with that. All right, next up. This is the concept art for the character that I've made initially, as well as some of the weapons that Issei and William carry in their arsenal. As you can see here, you have the Tome of Wisdom. It's not even shown here, but yeah. It's basically like a grimoire that acts like a Rosetta Stone. And if you don't know what that is, it basically translates other languages to your own, and you can basically understand them. It also allows for other types of knowledge, like knowing how to cast certain types of magic. And even gives you information on stuff, kind of like what you type in a Google search. Crazy, right? It's a medieval version of a cell phone, basically. Except it's got more stuff. And that's his staff. That's Issei's Staff of the Magi, I think. Or the mate. He calls it that, but it's actually a scepter of sorts that stores in mana that he carries in reserve. So he doesn't, like, run out in times when he has to do battle, or at other times when he performs for the masses. And then there's the weapons that William carries. Aside from the fact that he's got other weapons, like he could also use he could also use other weapons like these two here. Some of the weapons he carries are based off of the Egyptian assassins, the very first in the entire world. He got the daggers of Anubis, which basically it's like an instant game over, like whenever for whatever they touch. And then the Spear of Osiris. Now this is a different one because I never really heard of Osiris up until now. It's like a god of creation of like sword, like a god of life in Egypt. And that's what piqued my interest. So yeah, the Spear of Osiris. It's one that creates life, but it's also one that can destroy it as well. Or even, changes it to the wielder's will. That being said, it can also destroy life as well. That being said, though, you probably don't even see it. This is what it looks like here. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, my model was in the way at times, but yeah. That's what it looks like. You just make sure you take a screenshot if you want. Alright, next slide. These are the two lovely artists that helped me in creating my VTuber model, as well as the assets that are used in my Twitch streams. We have Briella at Briella Arts, graphic designer, VTuber artist, animators, etc. She's the one responsible for the VTuber model you see right before you. Oh, she's also responsible for some of the assets that I have, but she's also currently working on my lore video right now. So yeah, you could definitely give her a follow on Twitter. And Alexa Michael, VTuber designer. And Alexa Michael 1, digital artist and web developer. She's the one responsible for the asset. I think she was the one that created the 2D art room. I think. I don't know. Nah, I think it was Briella. I'm not sure. But yeah, definitely give her a follow too at Alexa Michael 1 on Twitter as well. Let's talk about my goals. The first of which is to make friends with all kinds of VTubers and content creators, as well as all those in chat. So, those who are wanting to come in and chat with me, I am more than happy to answer any of your questions, as well as any requests for videos or any video games that you want me to play. I'm all up to just about anything, if it's within my power to do so. That being the case, though, I do have a part-time job, so I won't always be streaming most of the time. So, I'm hoping to have a dedicated audience to hopefully be patient and know that I'll be streaming on certain days of the week. Oh yeah, also, if there are any VTubers watching, definitely know that I'm always up to collabs. I say that, but it shouldn't really matter as much. I'm mostly a gamer at best, but I'm also a big fan of anime as well. And I do have experience in making 3D models, so hopefully in the future I can make use of my talent for that. But I'm waiting on a certain model to get made so I can do just that. Let's just say that. Anyways, next. I like to be able to create an animation studio / recording studio for English dub voice acting in anime. The kind in which we make our own original cartoons / animes and make dubs of those, as well as for existing / upcoming anime shows and movies, you know? I know there's a whole bunch, but there are times when I just wish that some animes were like, actually like stick with the original IP. Like, you have Funimation and some other studios like it that are always butchering the original IP of animes and always making changes to better suit the Western audience. That's just butchering what the Japanese have done for so long. I can understand that some of the Japanese culture is too much for Western people to handle, but come on. This is why anime is different from our own media. It's because it has good stories, it has good character development, all that fun stuff. And people just think they have the right to just change however they want just to suit their ideal way of how a Western audience would look on to the media as a way of entertainment. But in reality, all they're doing is just being selfish and just making people mad over little changes that they've done. Like, for example, the Miss Kobayashi Dragon Maid dub. I know Jamie Markey is a good voice actor, but she should not touch a voice script for all that is good. Like, come on. She just butchered the one scene in that one episode. Clearly, it was not meant to be patriarchal, but she did it anyways, and it messed things up. There are other examples like that in the show, as well as in other animes in the past, but still. This is why, for my goal of making a new dub studio, I will not tolerate such BS. We will make it to where people will enjoy anime as much as they enjoy everything else, and that the English dub is better or just as good as the original sub. That's all I have to say in the matter. I'm not usually one for going into culture wars, but this is where I put my foot down, butchering Japanese media just to better suit the Western audience. Though I guess in a way, 4Kids has done it in the past, but I don't think people seem to mind really, because, I mean, back then we were just kids. We didn't know any better at the time. But now that we do know, it was actually kind of hilarious because, I mean, 4Kids was nostalgia. That being the case, though, it's still bad that they did all that just to suit the Western audience, but they had a good reason for it, and I think it might have been the same with Funimation and all, but for reals. There's a fine line between just bringing out Japanese media to Western audiences when it comes to like kids shows, and then there's ones where it's like for a mature audience. There's a fine difference between the two, but they just want to make it to where they add in like changes for all audiences, and to also give in to like woke propaganda, like for reals. That type of thing should not be propagated to fulfill an agenda. I'm not gonna say any more on that matter, but yeah. People just gotta know when to quit. Anyways, enough about all that. Now, my optional goals. Now, these are only just like optionals. Like, I don't think I'll be able to achieve those in any time of my life. But if it does happen, it would be like living a fantasy. Like wanting to become the richest man in the world so that I might share my wealth and glory to those who are deserving of it. I say that, but I mean, not everyone wants to be given money for free. Some people want to earn it, and that's fine. I'm fine with having people wanting to work for it. But sometimes when people just give you money, you just gotta take it, you know? Gotta make the best use of one's generosity, you know? And then optional goal 2, creating a utopia for anime fans and cultured weebs alike without fear of discrimination, harassment, and violence, etc. Now I did put all that down, but then I realized it'll happen anyways, regardless of whether we come together as a community. Like, we're all gonna be different when it comes to our tastes in anime as well as other stuff, but for reals, we could always just meet each other halfway, and that we may have our differences, but if we find like something that's like common ground, like an anime or a video game or anything that you like, yeah, you could definitely talk about it and become friends over it. But you know, the type of thing I want is for all fans of anime to be able to enjoy themselves without the fear of being told that you're cringe or that you just get harassed. I mean, definitely not today, of course. Anime fans are just everywhere in the United States, and I think there are some in Canada, but not always. We're like closet fans for the most part, even myself. And then we have, yeah, I think that's about it. Oh yeah, the way I wanted to do it too I think it was like to create like an artificial island of sorts, or maybe like a floating island. I'm not sure, but if it comes time in the near future when technology is much more advanced than it already is, and if I have the finances, I could definitely pull it off. But however, it might end up like that one situation from back in the day when there was like a floating hotel of sorts. I think it was sometime in Australia that happened. I don't know. I'll probably have to find that out again because I did read up on it at some point, but yeah, things were just a bit messy, and the whole thing went down under. Let's just say. All right. Oh yeah, here we go. My interests: games, anime, music. I'll say for music, I like any kind of music, mostly ones with vibes or makes you feel something. Technically, it's like if a music really gets to me, like if it feels like something that could be added into like an animated music video, like ones that were done back in the day, or if it could be made into something like in a musical sort of way, like in like a show or a movie, you know? That sort of thing. You probably wouldn't understand all that, but yeah, there's that. And video games. This is the list of ones that are mostly like ones that I played, and some of them are my favorites. Like the Final Fantasy franchise. If you've seen me play through Rebirth, it is an amazing game. I've even played through most Final Fantasy games, but not all of them. I'm a huge Kingdom Hearts fan. I played through all the games, and I definitely can't wait for the 4th installment to come out. So, I'm not the content creator that's like full on Kingdom Hearts. So that would definitely be something of interest, but nah. I'm all about all things video games, including the Fire Emblem franchise. That's what first got me into anime. That and also Final Fantasy 13, but at the time, I just thought it looked cool because of how visually stunning it looked. Anyways, yeah. Yeah, Fire Emblem. That's what mostly got me interested in the anime art styles. And yeah, Fire Emblem Awakening mostly, and then I started getting Fates and Echoes after that. I think I also have 3 Houses and even Fire Emblem Engage. I've been meaning to do a playthrough on that on stream, but never really got the time to do so because of everything else that's been going on in my life. Anyways, Pokemon. I've done a stream of Pokemon Violet on Twitch and some on YouTube, but I still have yet to complete it. I still have to go through the DLC of it as well. And also Pokemon ZA is coming out, or ZA, or however you want to pronounce it. I just find it funny how one YouTuber in particular, I'm not gonna mention it, but LP mentioned that he likes it when it's called Pokemon ZA, you know, from like the Harry Potter parody videos, like it's not Leviosa, it's Leviosa. So it's like Pokemon ZA. I find that funny. Anyways, moving on. Legend of Zelda. I'm mostly into the older Zelda games. I know Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom are good games, but I haven't really much... I mean, I have been interested in playing them, but I just never really got the chance to do so. I played through some of Breath of the Wild, and it's pretty good. Tears of the Kingdom, I know, is definitely good. It's just one of the many lists of games I play, and there's so much that I just never really get the chance to play them. Because again, I have so much going on in my life. And I also like your typical Mario games. I've been trying to get through Super Mario 64. I'm almost done beating it on the All-Star game. Yeah, the Super Mario 3D All-Stars. I'm one of the lucky few people that actually got a cartridge of the 3D All-Stars. Super Mario 64, Super Mario Sunshine, and Super Mario Galaxy. I just wish they added the second one in there too, so it would have been a full-on experience, but nope. They only added the first one in. And Kirby. I like Kirby games. They're fun, wholesome. I did end up beating the latest one, the Forgotten Lands. It was easy. That stuff was easy, man. Kirby games are, I mean, then again, it's meant for children, but Kirby games are so easy. I think the only harder one is the Kirby 64, the Crystal Shards. Then again, it's like the movement is like kind of meh, but I think the story itself is pretty good. I still have to get through it though. And PlayStation exclusive games such as Sly Cooper, Ratchet and Clank, Ghost of Tsushima, God of War, etc. Sly Cooper was like, I think it was the very first PlayStation game I ever played for when I owned a PS2. Yeah, those games were good. But it's a forgotten franchise now because Sony just gave up on it at some point after the fourth one came out. They were going to make a movie of the first game, but they never really showed much progress on that. Now, did they? But hopefully it'll eventually turn around. It was also one of the first games that Sucker Punch made. And then they moved on to other titles like Ghost of Tsushima. I might as well skip one because Ratchet and Clank, I know those are good games, but I haven't really played much of them. I do own the latest one, Rift Apart, I think. I'd have to look into it, but yeah. I think that game would be pretty fun. I just never got the chance to play it. But Ghost of Tsushima, oh, it's gotta be one of my top 5 games of all time. It has to be. So visually stunning, plus the gameplay is amazing. It's perfect in every possible way of the sense. So is Kingdom Hearts 2 and a couple of other games, but let's just stick with that Ghost of Tsushima. I know people are hating on it because it's inaccurate to the actual history of Tsushima Island, but it's the way they went about it, Sucker Punch. It's like a fantasy of sorts. Like you have a samurai who ended up fighting off the Mongol army that's invading the island on their way to try to invade all of Japan, but you just gotta try to take them down a peg, but they just keep on coming back, Let's just say that. Also, the PC version of that's coming out soon, and I want to be able to pre-order it so that I can have it installed and, well, pre-installed, I should say. It probably won't install until later on when it does come out next month. So I'll probably be doing a stream of that on Twitch at some point. If you guys want me to. And the God of War franchise. I've mostly played the first 3 games. As well as the side games. But yeah, those were amazing. it's also one of the instances like well, I'm not gonna say much of it, but it's got there's like some parts of the game, like a mini game where you get to like hmm, have your way with some women in there. But other than that, I think it's the kind of game that's like pretty heavy on the gory stuff. But yeah, it's just a video game now. It's all fiction. And various other games that are mostly action based, but yeah, like I said, I'm always open to suggestions. First person shooters, I also like too, like Call of Duty. And yeah, I just never stream it though. It's because as a VTuber, I have to set an example as someone who entertains and also is also a more let's just say a more what was the word? Say so? Yeah, like a wholesome VTuber, I should say. Yeah. Let's go with that. Animes. I like all kinds of animes. These are the ones that I watched back in the day. I first got into it in like 2014 when it was on Netflix. There are some shows I might not want to mention, but there are some like Fruits Basket and Oran High School Host Club. Those were on Netflix and they were pretty good to watch. I think they're both reverse harem animes. But the Fruits Basket that I watched was the original one that came out in 2001. I also watched the new one that came out in 2019, and man, they did so well with that. I would say both are better, but the newer one is way better. Same thing with Full Metal Alchemist. I watched the original, and then I watched Brotherhood, and I think both were good, but Brotherhood was just way better because of the storytelling and all that. It was great. Code Geass. It was something that a YouTuber by the name of Nuxtaku mentioned, and I watched that. It was spectacular. Great story. Definitely one of the best endings in all of fiction, I think. That being said, I I am open to other opinions. I also like Demon Slayer. Great stuff. Definitely can't wait for the next season. Anything made by Ufotable Studios is amazing. Let's just say that. Even the Fate series. Pokemon the series. That's always good. Because, you know, I mean, the OG Pokemon show was good all the way through. It was all good up until Black and White, but it has its own flair. It was just they changed Ash Ketchum to be something that he's not, and then when they did XY, it was like top tier in terms of storytelling as well as character development, and the relationship between all the characters were all good. Let's say that. Though it was basically Ash Ketchum's build up to when he got into like second place in the Pokemon League. But then as he went through Alola, he finally became the champion. And then after that, when he did Journeys, he also became the world champion after defeating Leon. I'm like, whoa. That was basically it for him. He basically done what he had to accomplish. He became the Pokemon master. Though his journey does not end there, as what people would like to believe. Hopefully in the near future, he will make a return. Because as they say, gotta have faith. That also, Pokemon Horizons is still pretty good. Anyways, back to others. High School DxD, definitely good anime. Though you might see some things, but it's all in good faith because it's Japanese culture stuff. Baka and Tess, Summon the Beast, that was a good one. Danmachi, the shorter version of a long title of an anime called Is It Wrong to Try to Pick Up Girls in a Dungeon? That's a good one. Great story, great characters. Tensura, short for That Time I Got Reincarnated as a Slime. Great stuff. Konosuba. I definitely can't wait for the third season of that to come out later this month. I was hoping I could do a reaction to the first episode. But then again, I might get struck down for copyright. I could probably do what Nux does and do like a filter, but I don't know. It's better if I watch it by myself and then give you guys the rundown of how it was, as well as some underrated gems in the mix. Now, as I say that, you guys can give me the name of an anime you think I have watched, and I will tell you whether or not I have watched it or not. Because I've basically watched mostly all the good ones, aside from those I haven't watched, because you know how busy of a person I am with my part-time job and everything else, personal and or otherwise. And yep, that's just about it. Alright, now to the ending. Now, I know it's been a little longer than expected, but we are now at the conclusion of the debut. These are my tags, Phantom Art and Phantom NSFW Art. I don't have those up on Twitter yet, but I will eventually, as the time comes. And these are you guys. The names that I like to call my fans, the Phantom Trope. I'll probably change it in the near future, but yeah. You guys will be like my minions. Your guys' job will be to spread the love of anime and the video games that are similar to it, as well as games that are good in a way that applies to everyone and not just a certain group of people. Sweet baby ink. Anyways, that's about it.